Lighten up. I get the master bedroom renovated when we move into your fancy new house, she declared at Sunday brunch. My brother smiled. It's only fair. We'll be living there long term. Everyone laughed. 24 hours later, my mom called me hysterical. Dear God, Max, what is he reading on camera? My name is Max. I'm 32, oldest son, default problem solver, the one who keeps a Google sheet for everything from rent receipts to light bulb sizes. I work in a project management, which mostly means I tell people we said Wednesday until Wednesday happens. I pack lunch, pay bills on time, and keep a folder on my desktop named Documents I Will Not Email Family. I learned that last one the hard way. My family runs loud. My mom raised us after the divorce. She's sweet, anxious, and keeps a drawer of birthday candles just in case. My younger brother Brandon is the golden one. He has a YouTube channel that he calls a brand. His girlfriend, Leia, says she's his manager, which seems to mean she records him from across the couch and tells him to push energy. They are charismatic in that slippery way where people hand them things. I saved for 8 years night classes. Over time, the deposit jar on my counter had a stupid label, house, because writing it down made it real. In March, my offer on a new build went through. The realtor said luxury because there's an island and the closets are legally their own zip code. I told maybe 3 people. My mom cried. She cried harder when I said, I'll still be close. I'm not moving to the moon. Then she told Brandon. Of course she did. She wanted us all to be close. We're a team, she says. Like teams don't have benches. The first trigger arrived at a Sunday brunch at a place that charges extra for syrup. Mom invited everyone. Low-key, she said. It wasn't low-key. Hila showed up in sunglasses like paparazzi. Might be hiding behind the Mimosa Tower. Brandon ordered 3 entrees for content. I didn't plan to make any announcements. I planned to eat eggs and survive. Mom couldn't help herself. Max got the house, she said, touching my wrist like she needed an anchor. People clapped. Yayla leaned back in her chair, smirk ready. Lighten up, she announced, clinking her glass with the fork. I want the master bedroom renovated when we move into your new luxury house. She didn't smile to show it was a joke. She said it like a request at a nail salon. Brandon grinned like he was giving me a gift. It's only fair. We'll be living there long term. Forks clicked. Someone laughed too loud. Mom did that nervous giggle that always means please don't fight in public. My aunt said, oh, rich. Into her coffee, I stared at my plate and felt my mouth do the thing it does when I'm about to make a boundary and everyone is about to pretend they didn't hear it. I'm not planning to have roommates, I said. Quiet, firm. Yayla rolled her eyes behind her sunglasses. We're family, she said like that closes all tabs. Brandon tapped his phone, already writing a caption in his head. My brother's house tour. Moving debt. He winked at me. Content, bro win. I switched to water. I watched the bubbles climb the glass. I reminded myself I could leave at any time. Mom rubbed my arm. Well, talk, she whispered, which usually means you'll pay. Everyone laughed again like it was all adorable. 24 hours later, my mom called me hysterical. Dear God, Max, what is he reading on camera? Who? I said, but I knew. Brandon. She said he's reading numbers. He's saying your mortgage amount and something about spreadsheets. He's live. People are commenting. I opened the app. There he was. My brother in a hoodie on a live stream, holding up a printout that looked familiar. My budget, the one labeled house. The ring light made him glow like a confessional priest. This is what he thinks he can afford, he told the chat, laughing. Look at this line. Furniture's $0 for now. Bro, what is this? The depression. Hila cackled off camera. The comments climbed. My stomach dropped. The folder, the one I'd shown Mom to explain interest rates. The one I had left on her coffee table because she was crying happy and said, leave it so I can look again. I muted the live and stared at the wall. I could hear myself breathing in the reflection of the turn-off TV. I didn't do anything that night. I didn't respond to texts. I didn't run to fix it. I sat in the quiet and measured the distance between my old rules and the ones I was going to need. If you're going to understand why a brunch comment and a live stream worked like a trapdoor under my feet, you need the slow file. The one labeled patterns, not drama. Mom had me at 21. Dad left when Brandon started preschool. I was the helper kid, the one who microwaved dinner while Mom finished a shift. I learned to be flexible. Flexible turns into invisible if you don't watch it, and I didn't watch it. Brandon learned to be charming. At 12, he convinced a neighbor to buy him a skateboard for a project. At 15, he convinced mom to co-sign for a camera for school. When she couldn't, he asked me. "It'll pay for itself," he said, palms up like proof. I bought the cheaper one and told him to pay me back $20 every week. He paid me back twice. He called me obsessed with money. He filmed a video called Living with a Saving Samurai. He took it down when I asked. He put it back up when his views dipped. Small things stack. At 19, I worked 2 jobs and took night classes to finish a certification. Brandon dropped a collab with a guy who later stole his login. He called me sobbing. "Everything's gone," he said. I helped him write emails to support, sat with him on hold, got it back. He thanked me by posting a story. Shout out to my tech bro. It tagged a random account. He said he was keeping me private. Mom was always the referee and the amplifier. Family helps family. She'd say her eyes were wet because that's what she wanted to believe. In her world, it always translated into Max will handle it. When Brandon's rent was late, she called me at 11:47 p.m. with, "Can you just? I'll pay you back." She once paid me back $50 with a grocery store gift card. Numbers were the only thing steady in the chaos I grew up with. If I can count it, I can keep it. That's why I keep a ledger. If you roll your eyes at that, then you've never seen a shut-off notice slide under a door like a blade point 2 years ago. When mom's apartment flooded, Brandon asked if they could stay with me for a few days. I agreed. They showed up with 6 bags, 2 ring lights, a dog, and an air fryer. Days stretched into weeks. Leia took the bedroom. They filmed at midnight. The dog chewed through my Ethernet cable. When I asked for $300 toward utilities, Brandon said, "You're petty if you need money from family." Leia called me landlord. They left after 53 days. I know the number because it's in the ledger. Try laughing at a number you see every night. Later, when mom's car needed repairs, I paid $680. I didn't make a speech. I just sent the receipt. Brandon replied, "Real brothers don't keep receipts." I didn't answer because I was still trying to be a real brother. That's how you keep getting drained. Chasing a title someone already decided you don't deserve. When I started looking at houses, I told no one. I ran numbers like it was a hobby, toured open houses alone, took photos quietly. In December, I told mom. She cried, held my face, and whispered, "You don't owe anyone anything." Then, out of reflex, she texted Brandon. Brandon's reaction? Content. He wanted to film the search. I said no, and he called me gatekeeping. Leia sent Pinterest boards of neutral masculine master suites, said she loved a do not disturb sign for our room. I told her, there is no R. She sent a laughing emoji. Max is shy. At brunch, when she claimed the master bedroom, I felt every small thing I had swallowed turn into a spine. I thought setting a boundary out loud would be enough. It wasn't. The live stream made it worse. Brandon wasn't just reading my numbers. He was reading my life for hearts and fire emojis. He budgeted exactly $1,200 for family help and smirked at the camera. Leia gasped like a contestant on a game show. Why cap it? That's mean. He circled closing costs with a highlighter. He thinks this is necessary. I'll just call the realtor and say I'm family. The chat flooded with ideas. Move in as a prank. Set up a 24/7 house cam. Unbox his fridge that I didn't feel embarrassed. I felt cold. The kind of cold where your hands don't work and you're not sure if you're holding anything. Mom called. I told her to make him delete it. She said he'd blocked me from the live. Okay, I said. What are you going to do? She asked the old code for how will you stop the mess from happening again. Think, I said. Sleep that I slept badly. When I woke up, 27 notifications waited. 3 were kind. 24 were strangers telling me to share, because he's your bro. 1 was from Leia. Lighten up. You're making it weird by being weird. AT lunch. Brandon texted. Don't be mad. It's just content. Also, we need to talk about rooms. Our lease ends next month. Moving in with you would save us $2,000, Brandon said. I called him, told him to take the video down. He said you can't delete live. It's authentic. I said or apologize. He laughed. You have main character energy. Let us ride. Leia wants to meet with a designer for the master. I said no. I'm done being your safety net. He hung up. That night mom texted, can we all sit down? Love you. When she starts with love you, she knows I'll be mad. I agreed. I brought 3 papers, a cease and desist template, a guest agreement, and a budget list. Words flowed. Paper doesn't up. By the time we met at Mom's, I was calm. Brandon and Leia came late. Ring light in tow. No filming, I said. Leia pouted. Mom shushed her. I laid out the rules. Take down my budget video. Stop sharing my house publicly. He smirked. First Amendment. I slid the cease and desist across. Second, no one moves into my house. Not for a week. Not for a month. Not even after I die. Visits only. Dinner, then leave by 10. Mom's mouth opened. I cut her off. I love you. No. Brandon's grin turned mean. You think you're better? No. I worked for what I have. You think that makes me responsible for you? Leia said, be serious. It's practical. We'd save $2,000 a month. You won't even feel it. You're buying a luxury place, Brandon said. I ignored him. Third, I said, if you need housing, we can talk about a duplex, lease, deposit, quiet hours, no filming. Or cut your budget and get a studio. I'll help with a spreadsheet. He laughed. You're obsessed with paper. You don't care about people. Paper protects people from me resenting them later, I said. It stops me from saying yes, then bleeding out because I can't afford it. He blinked. Then Leia called me dramatic. Mom asked softly, what about me? Could I stay sometimes? Yes, I said. You'll have a key. That's different. Brandon snapped. Favoritism. No. Boundaries. You don't pay bills. You make content out of my life. He stood. You're making an enemy of your brother. No. I'm drawing a line between my life and your channel. Leia scoffed. Dictator. Fourth, I said, sliding the guest agreement to Mom. Anyone staying signs this. 2 nights max, no filming. Not a trap, a map. Mom whispered, this feels so official. I am official. With my life, I said. Brandon sneered. Everyone thinks you're generous, but you're just counting. I count because no one counted for me. And because you count on me not to. Leia snapped. We'll make our own money. We don't need your tiny house. It's 2,400 square feet, I muttered. She rolled her eyes. They left angry. Mom sat still, staring at the paper. It feels like I raised you wrong. You raised me to survive. Survival looks like this. She nodded, then asked, can I still bring candles? Please, I said. The next day, I emailed Brandon. Subject, remove video, no filming my life. Attachments, a real cease and desist. A reminder about privacy law and housing resources. He replied with a middle finger. I replied with nothing. I packed, picked up my keys, drove to closing, signed my name until my hand cramped. Congratulations, the agent said. Thanks, I answered quietly, standing in a doorway before stepping through. The first week was noise, then silence. Mattress on the floor, takeout on a paint bucket. Mom texted hearts and a candle emoji. Brandon kept posting jabs. I filed a privacy complaint. The replay came down in 48 hours. I didn't tell him. I let the silence do it. He called 10 times. On the 11th, I answered. I can protect my private info. I hung up when he kept performing. Leia tagged me in a petty story. I blocked her and felt lighter. Mom visited Sunday with lasagna, tea towels, duct tape, and a first aid kit. She walked through the house like a museum where touching is allowed. It echoes, Mom said, clapping once. It'll fill, I told her. She hung a tea towel on the oven, and I almost cried. Not for the towel, but because something soft could exist in a place I paid for without debt. We set her keypad code. She whispered, I won't tell him. I said, don't point. 2 days later Brandon showed up, filming himself banging on my door. Open up, landlord, he yelled. I didn't open. I texted, not a good time. No filming. He posted it with clown music. I warned, trespass again and I'll call the police. My lawyer drafted a certified letter. No contact without consent. No showing up. No filming. I filed the invoice in my folder. Life at the new house steadied. Work stayed boring. I laughed more. I built furniture badly, then fixed it. No one asked me for money. I slept. Mom called once. He says he'll sue you for emotional rent. I said, that's not a thing. She's learning to let his noise be his noise. Day 12, Brandon texted. At least short term, we'll be respectful. Mom promised you'd say yes. I wrote back. I wish you well. I'm not your housing plan. Ask if you need resources. He sent wow and nothing else. My house filled. Couches, a rug, even a dent in the hallway that meant life was happening. Brandon pivoted his channel to pranks. He'll be fine or he won't. That's not my rent to pay. I filed a privacy complaint. and the replay came down. I didn't gloat. I let silence do the talking. Mom still visits with lasagna, candles, too many emojis. She slips and says we when she means you. I correct her gently. We're both learning to here's what I won't do anymore. Shrink so others can stand on me. Hand out keys to people who turn rooms into sets. Apologize for locked doors. Here's what I will do. Keep a line item for Mom. Keep the guest agreement ready. Say no clearly. Say yes when it fits. Closure isn't revenge. It's a locked door that opens to people who knock. It's a code beeping green, a towel folded once, the quiet that isn't empty. The real luxury isn't the square footage, it's choosing.